Hi, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Want to take you on a bookshelf tour. Now, I have done the my previous bookshelf tours have been with the shelf over here and the one right behind me. I have done all the nonfiction books on those first two shelves. So these next two videos that I'm going to do are from the third shelf, the one on it'd be on the right side of the videos when you see me in my normal setting. And so wanted to finish showing you what I got downstairs, and then I have an idea on how I can get the upstairs shelves and take you on a tour of the upstairs shelves. It won't be in any order. It's going to be a wide variety of books, but I can show you what I have upstairs, but that's going to be later. So let me take you on a shelf tour here. This shelf is mainly world history stuff. It is not, there might be a couple with some U.S. history, but it's mainly world history. So as I've said before in previous videos, I am mainly an American history guy. That is, if I had a specialty, that's my specialty. World history is a class that, and I'm a teacher, by the way, and I was given world history a couple years ago to teach, and so I've been, for the last couple years, teaching myself as I'm teaching the kids. It's been a fun journey, and I may have gotten just as much out of it as they have, but part of that process has been building up this collection of world history books. Now, this isn't all of them, of course. There's more upstairs, but this is the newer stuff that I've gotten, and by newer I mean recently picked up, not brand new. But I'm going to show you some of these books, and I hope you enjoy.
Can I be in your video?
So let's go through this shelf of world history books. So let's get started. The first book that I've got for you is a DK Publishing book, World War I. Says it contains a 16-page guide to World War I battlefields and memorials. And so here is that book. And I really like this book. I'm a visual guy. I like to look at the different pictures and stuff that come in these books. This one in particular, it's got some cool pictures of the battlefields. It's got some black and white photos, maps. It's got it broken down into different sections of World War I. Yeah, it's just kind of a neat book. It's not just good for the kids. It's one that would be good for me. It's got a lot of good timelines. It just breaks the war down really, really well. So anyway, that's the first one on this shelf. And the next one I've got for you is Little Heart's History of the First World War. And here's this volume. And this is a, let's see, Pan Books, London and Sydney is where it was printed. Looks like it was first published in 1930, and this looks like it is a 1970 edition. And this book's got some maps in it. I always like maps. I'm a map guy. I don't know that it has any actual photos. Yeah, the rest of it looks like text. Several maps in it of the different battlefields. Paperback, gonna be a good read, I think. The next book in line is a Doorstop. It is a beast. It is the first complete one-volume history, Delivered from Evil, the saga of World War II by Robert Leckie. Now, that's pretty cool artwork on the cover, but look at how thick this monster is. That thing is going to take me literally forever to get through. And you notice the spine's not in the greatest of shape. I did see that Steve Donahue he had said something about having some videos on how he has fixed spines like that. And so I'm going to have to go digging through his videos to figure out how to fix my book, because I am not sure how to do that. But anyway, this looks like a very complete book on World War II. It's pretty small print. If you can see that, it's pretty small print. It's got, let's see here, get to the end here. Oops. 998 pages. So this would definitely, this is a big book. It's got a few maps in it, but mainly it's text. So anyway, again, great artwork on the cover. I like that. But let's see here. Let's get some more into the English history. This one doesn't have a jacket cover. So the making of early England. All right, and that was done by, let's see, B.T. Batsford Ltd. Out of London, and it was written by D.P. Kirby. And this is just part of that. You know, when I was going through trying to build up my library on world history, I kind of centered in on my class in European history, and several of these are on England. I know that's maybe you guys would disagree with me, but you know, not having a ton of knowledge on just world history in general, that was the part where I felt the most comfortable, and I kind of wanted to just build on what I already knew and expand, and then hopefully start moving around the world as I go. And so a lot of these are they are European, but a lot of them are kind of English centered. Next volume here is English Society 1580 to 1680 by Keith Wrightson. This is a, well, here, let me finish showing off the book here. It is a Rutgers University Press, and it was written in this copy is from 1986. Mostly text. It's 264 pages, and so just a, you know, English society. So letting me get to know the people that are living in England. I like social history, so that's always kind of interesting to me. Now this one has nothing to do with European history. It was just one of those that just got stuck on the shelf. This is Milestones to Immortality, The Pilgrimage of Abraham Lincoln by Dr. Watson Pindle. And so we got Lincoln stuck in with the European history. Probably should have been on the Lincoln shelf right behind my chair, but that's all right. This book was, let's see, 1988. Looks like Role Models Incorporated. Never heard of that one. But it looks like it's going to be a fairly easy read. Fairly big text. It's nothing difficult. And it's just a couple hundred pages. So it's going to be a pretty easy read, I think. And I'll enjoy it because I enjoy Lincoln. But moving forward, the next book is Plagues and People by William H. McNeill. I mean, who doesn't need a good plague? That was a bad joke. Anyway, look at the artwork on that book. That is pretty cool, I think. And I always think it's kind of cool to see how stuff like, you know, plagues and other diseases, how that affects just history overall. This is from Anchor Books. It's out of New York, and it was printed originally in 1976, but this copy is 1998. And again, I think it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. On the back, it says, with the rise of newly emerging viruses like Ebola, HIV, mad cow disease, and the like, historian William H. McNeill's landmark book on how infectious disease has impacted and even altered the course of human history is now more relevant than ever. And, you know, it goes on to talk about, you know, just how it affects the peoples. But it looks like it's going to be an interesting book. Next book on the shelf is The Story of Britain, From the Romans to the Present, A Narrative History by Rebecca Fraser. And that's got some pretty cool artwork. Is that Henry VIII, maybe? I hate to say that and be wrong, but I'll go out on a limb. Henry VIII. Could be. I could be wrong. It's happened one or two times. My wife would probably tell you more times than that, but, you know. Let's see, copyrighted 2003, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good book. It's got several pictures throughout of various stuff going on in Britain. Oh, there's one there. It's got several pictures, and then when you go back, it's got paintings and stuff, and it looks like pictures of the buildings and just pretty cool stuff. It's pretty thick, pretty heavy. It's got, let's see, over 800 pages in it, so it's going to be a substantial volume. I thought it looked good, so we'll find out. All right. Next book is 1066, The Year of Conquest by David Haworth, however you say his name. Pardon me for mispronouncing. But as you all know, the year 1066, very pivotal event in English history. And this is a pretty short volume, only a couple hundred pages. And it was, let's see, Viking Press, out of New York, 1978. This one's 1978. So a little bit older volume, but I'm guessing it's going to have some stuff that I don't know, because like I said, I'm learning all this stuff for the first time. So, next book on the shelf is Elizabeth and Mary, Cousins, Rivals, Queens by Jane Dunn. Now, I've found that this story of Elizabeth and Mary to me, it's a fascinating story. I got kind of hooked on, I hate to say it out loud, but that show on the WB, the Rain. It was kind of a teeny bopper show, but I kind of got hooked on that, and it got me. As I was watching the show, I'd be sitting on my phone on the internet, you know, Googling stuff and trying to see if it was historically accurate or not. And the show, I mean, it had definitely had its issues with history, or, you know, its historical content, but they did a good enough job to keep me hooked. And so I became fascinated with the story of these two queens. I think it was a pretty cool story. And this is an Alfred A. Knopf book from out of New York, 2003, and it's about 450 pages or so. And like I said, good artwork. That's going to be a good one. You probably get tired of me saying that. This is going to be a good one, but I think all of them I pick up are going to be good, or else I wouldn't get them. Next one is A Monarchy Transformed, Britain from 1603 to 1714. And this is by Mark Kishlansky. It's ex-library book, so a lot of these came out of Books Revisited, that bookstore in St. Joe that I like. And this is a Allen Lane, the Penguin Press. And it is from 1996, it looks like. 1996. And it's, what, about 400 pages or so? Almost 400 pages. And it's got some pictures in it. It's got some maps in it. Here's one of the maps in it. You know, nothing real fancy, but again, you know, this is going to help me in my adventure in learning European history. All right, this one, I think I got this one. Did I get this one at Barnes & Noble? I think maybe I got it at Barnes & Noble. Enemy at the Gates, The Battle for Stalingrad. And it's by William Craig. Of course, that was a pivotal battle in World War II. This is a 1973 book, and it is Kaneki and Kaneki Publishing. And it looks like it's a big book, but it's not really that big. It's, what, 461 pages, I think. And but the you know, the print's not like super small. And it does have, let's see, thought I saw some pictures in there with it. Maybe not very many. Never mind. Take that back. Oh, there's some. There's a section of pictures. So it's got some black and white pictures of the people from the time period. But it looked interesting, so I picked it up. It was, of course, a bargain bin, the bargain rack. Here's another one off the bargain rack, but it is, in my opinion, the author should not have been on the bargain rack. But it's In the Heart of the Sea, the tragedy of the whale, let's see, what is it? The Whaleship Essex by Nathaniel Philbrick. Now, I have not read this one, but I absolutely love Nathaniel Philbrick. I love his writing. It's just fabulous. It's a page turner. And everything I've heard about this book is it is really good. And my guess is this will be, you know, a couple afternoons and I'll be done with it. But it's got several photos in the middle to keep you entertained with your reading. Of course, that's an industry I'd never ever would have went into. If that was one of my choices for a job, the whaling industry. I don't swim real well. I swim a little bit like a rock, so whaling's probably not not on my list of things I want to actually try to get accomplished. Now, I've read several of his other books. Like, they've got several of them listed here in the back. And I've read Mayflower. I have read The Last Stand. I've read, Valiant Ambition. So I've read a few of these that they list in the back. This book is about a 300-page book. That's going to be a good one. All right, getting to the second half of this shelf. The next book is by Robert A. Is it Kahn? You tell me, Can or Kahn. A History of the Habsburg Empire, 1526 to 1918. So right up to the end of World War I. And this is a... Let's see here. This is University of California Press out of Berkeley. And it is a 1974 book. A lot of words, no pictures. So I'll have to use my imagination in this one. But that's okay. That's okay. I thought that was a pretty good pickup for my European histories. And the next one that I got here, I got this one at Books Revisited. I remember getting it there. This is Wilhelm II, Volume 2, The Emperor and Exile, 1900 to 1941. And this is by Lamar Cecil. And this is a book that, when I start this, I'll have to try to find Volume 1 first, because it really bugs me to read things out of order. But this is another one, not a lot of pictures. And that's okay. Just it isn't illustrated, but it does have one, I guess. It's got Wilhelm and Hermine at Dorn. So a picture there at the front, but that's about all. Of course, the Kaiser, he played a huge role in World War I, getting that started. Here is A New History of England. So it looks like kind of a short history by Jeremy Black. Now, when it comes to authors, I don't know a lot of the authors' names for European history, but I have seen Jeremy Black's name all over the place. So I picked that up because I thought that, with his name always being talked about, he probably knows what he's talking about, obviously. So I picked that up, hoping to learn a little bit. And the look of the book, by the looks of the book, it looks like it's going to be a quick read. Next volume is Bismarck in the German Empire by Eric Eyck. E-Y-C-K. Eyck? Eyck? I don't know. But of course, Otto von Bismarck was largely responsible for helping to unite Germany. And yeah, the rest is history on that. It's a little over 300 pages. It is a... let's see, the Norton Library, W.W. Norton and Company. And it is from this copy's 1968, it looks like. So that'll be another good one. Here's another book on Queen Elizabeth, Elizabeth I, by Carolee Erickson. It's kind of a cool retro cover. Kind of a cool retro cover. And it is from 1983. Summit Books out of New York. And last 5 books. So here is, I saw this one on somebody else's channel, and for the life of me, I can't remember whose channel it was. I don't know if it was Peg's or Todd at the Bursting Bookshelf, maybe? I cannot remember. But anyway, Mysteries of the Middle Ages in the Beginning of the Modern World by Thomas Cahill. Whoever it was, they had a whole bunch of Thomas Cahill books. Whoever had that on their channel, and I can't remember who it was, really. That was a while back when I watched that. But it is beautifully illustrated. It's got color illustrations all through of the different buildings, the different paintings, and I think this is going to be, it'll be a fairly quick read, I think, very entertaining. And give you one more. Yeah, see the color photos there are just absolutely beautiful. But Cahill's got, I think, several books on European history that I really want to maybe pick up that I've heard a lot about. Next one is Richard S. Dunn, and it is The Age of Religious Wars, 1559 to 1715. It's a second edition. Pretty cool cover on that one also. It is, let's see, W.W. Norton and Company again, and this one is 1979. And so, again, European history. And here's another one. This one is Europe Between Revolutions, 1815 to 1848, by Jacques Draws. Not real sure on how to pronounce that. Harper Torch Books. And let's see, it is from 1967. And by the way, this was translated by Robert Baldick. And so there's that book. Kind of an older volume, but I'm sure the information in it is still worthy. And then thought maybe Peg over at the History Shelf might like this one. 15 Decisive Battles of the World, From Marathon to Waterloo by Edward Shepherd Creasy. When I saw that on the shelf, that's who I thought of. She likes all kinds of warfare over there. Watching her video on, was it Osprey? Osprey Publishing and the books that they put out. That was pretty entertaining. Those books look those books look like really good books. This is from the Military Heritage Press out of New York, and it is a 1987 book. And so that one. And then the last one on the shelf is from the ever-famous John Keegan, The Mask of Command. And John Keegan, of course, has put out a ton of books on war. He's kind of a godfather of warfare. And this book is, let's see, Penguin Books, and it is from 1987. And I thought it looked interesting because it had, it's got Ulysses Grant right there on the cover. And so it's got some Civil War. Of course, you got old Adolf Hitler there, and so you got some World War II. And this, I believe, is a statue of hopefully Alexander. Hopefully, I'm not way off. But anyway, it looked interesting, and of course, John Keegan, like we said, knows quite a bit about warfare, and he's got a lot of pictures in here that go with it. But anyway, that is my bookshelf tour for tonight. That is my world history shelf, at least for the downstairs section of the library. I hope you've enjoyed. If you did enjoy the video, please like it down below and subscribe to the channel and share it with some others. And as always, happy reading.